The sooner I talk about this film, the sooner I can get it out of my brain. Let's talk about it. So I went on Amazon Prime and I wanted to watch a film that was Christmas based because in watching and reacting to different social media drama, I love talking about films. And being that it is December, aka 80-degree winters in Florida, I wanted to start talking about some Christmas films. This film popped up and I didn't read anything about it. I just saw the thumbnail for the film and I was like, all right, cool. Now I want to be able to go into films without really knowing anything about it, just to make sure that when I'm watching it, I can have a better idea of what the film is about as opposed to what they want me to get out of it. So this film, Jack in Time for Christmas, follows this guy who is a comedian, and I actually looked it up. He actually is a comedian on TikTok, and he is trying to get from New York to London in time for Christmas to be with his family. But in between, he ends up encountering a lot of different obstacles and shenanigans and celebrities along the way.
All of the flights got cancelled.
All of the flights?
Yeah.
And I got stranded in America.
That sounds interesting. Like, that sounds like a typical Christmas film, honestly. So I'm like, okay, I generally like those cheesy, happy Christmas films. It's like, it feels good inside to watch those films because it's like, eventually at the end of the day, it's going to end well. And also, you're just going to have that vibe of Christmas. I'm going to enjoy this film. I should, because it's a Christmas film. And how can I not enjoy a Christmas film that has a comedian as the lead? I should have the best time watching this.
He got killed.
The only thing I'd want in return is to be able to hide in the closet and watch you guys do it.
In a nutshell, spoiler, I think this was probably one of the most unfunniest films I've ever seen that tried really hard to be funny. That should have been funny because there's a comedian as the lead. The thing about it is that on my channel, when I used to talk about films way more, I always had the question, if you're watching a comedy and it's not funny, is it even considered a comedy still? And the thing about this film was that it was very hard for me to get through it. I want to say at the 30-minute mark, I really wanted to turn the film off. Like, I really did. The film was only an hour and 6 minutes long, including credits. So at most, the film is like 58 minutes long. And at the 30-minute mark, I really was considering turning the film off. It was just so unfunny and long, and nothing was happening. He meets Michael Bublé, Dave Bautista, some like Olympic that does bobsledding, and he meets another person that does the husky dog race thing with the sleds. And then he meets Rebel Wilson.
I can come and spend Christmas with you.
Each interaction that he has with each person or in each celebrity ends up being the most longest conversations that go nowhere and end up being the unfunniest. I didn't understand how this was even put in the comedy realm. Jack Whitehall, he actually is a comedian because I had to understand like who he was. I didn't fully understand why I was here, why he was so unfunny, and why there was a show about a guy that I had never seen before. So I looked his name up on TikTok, and lo and behold, he has a huge following. I was like, you know what, maybe I don't understand his style of comedy, because sometimes if you could understand and appreciate how someone is when it comes to their style of comedy, it will give me a much better understanding when I'm watching his film. So I looked them up.
Where are the vegans at? We got vegans in? Okay, wow, an army of them, oh dear. I'm gonna get booed off stage in a hail of tofu. I'm sorry, honestly, I am. I come in peace, okay? I don't want any beef, and quite frankly, neither do you.
I love this city. Can I tell you, I love this city because this is the only city in the world where you are as grumpy as we are in Britain. Even the guy stamping the passports was terrifying. He was like, what is your occupation? Comedian. Are you as funny as Jerry Seinfeld? No. Correct.
I genuinely think I drink as a crutch, because I actually think I get quite bad social anxiety, which people are always surprised to hear, by the way, because I do this for a living. But that's why I love a whiskey, all right? Whiskey is my drink, and it's my go-to, because what whiskey does is it just tweaks my internal monologue, right? That little voice that you've got in your head. If I walk into a room sober, the voice in my head is like a cross between my dad and Severus Snape. I walk into a room sober, it's like,
nobody in this room likes you. Look how disappointed they are that you didn't bring your daddy with you.
If I thought the film was a chore to get through, man, I want to say you would have to be a huge diehard fan of Jack Whitehall to appreciate this film. He just wasn't my taste. He wasn't my cup of tea, and that's totally fine. He must have some diehard fans that couldn't wait for this film to come out, because this film, along with his comedy, with some of the most unfunniest things I have ever seen. It's kind of funny because Michael Bublé, I thought he was going to have more to do with the film than he actually did. And I didn't know it was just Jack running into different celebrities and getting into different shenanigans and then moving on to the next person. I didn't know that was the situation. Again, I didn't read the synopsis, and even now I didn't read the synopsis. So the film opens up with Jack finding Michael Bublé, who out of all the houses in the neighborhood, he's the only house that's not decorated for Christmas. He gets to the door and he realizes that there's a few booby traps set up at Michael Bublé's house. He talks to him, and Michael Bublé is like totally against talking about Christmas. Even when he says the word Christmas, he starts to gag. Like, he just really is not a fan of Christmas. You know, the way people think about Mariah Carey when Christmas comes up, he doesn't like the idea that people come up and think about him. Then there's this long scene where he gives basically Jack a tour of his house, which is just padding the runtime because it just ends up going nowhere, especially when you realize what the film is actually about. So I thought that there was going to be more to Michael Bublé's character in this film because Jack is trying to get Michael Bublé to be on a show that he's doing. So I'm thinking in my head, oh, okay, cool. So this is all about Jack putting together a show and he's trying to get a bunch of celebrities together. No, because once we're done with that scene where Jack is at Michael Bublé's house, we move on and we see Michael Bublé like in one or two other scenes, but he's not really in the film like that. He's basically like a guest star in this film. The one thing I did like about this film that they did that was kind of unique is that it's partially scripted, partially unscripted, and it felt like a genuine narrative film with a docu-series melted into it. Jack meeting all these celebrities, which happens to be more scripted, and then he's encountering non-celebrities and more just like famous athletes, and that is the part that's unscripted. So he's having like actual dialogue with these people. The scripted scenes were from the actors, at least it felt like that. I don't know 100% sure, but it felt like the scenes with the other actors were scripted and the ones with the athletes were unscripted, and he was just being his genuine self. To be honest, when it comes to comedy and comedians in films, I expect the unscripted scenes to be way funnier because that's where the comedian's supposed to shine. He was more unfunny when he was doing unscripted. It was weird to watch because I'm like, how are you as a comedian this not funny? I don't feel like I need to follow Ricky Gervais's filmography or his stand-up to understand and appreciate his humor. I think that sometimes you are just naturally funny no matter what environment you're in. And even if you have a script, you're going to twist it to have it work for you. You're not just reading something off of a paper. Like, if you're that funny. Kevin Hart is a prime example of it. David Chappelle, Bernie Mac, R.I.P. is a way more better example of it. And I don't feel like Jack Whitehall was good at this, in my opinion. I just found it was a chore to get through this film. The film is primarily him telling the story that we're watching to a taxi driver that's taking him from some location to his house, and she's like kind of like not believing it either, while she's trying to be quirky too. It's like, why is there no one funny in this film? This is a comedy with a comedian as a lead, and he's encountering all these people. How is it not funny? Then at the end, he gets to his house. He basically wraps up exactly what we saw, exactly what he's told the taxi driver, all to his girlfriend. It was like, oh, so we just went through all that just for you to tell us the story 3 times. It sucks when you're watching something that's funny that's not really funny. Like, it sucks when you see a film and it's in the comedy realm, but you don't laugh at all in it. Wow, I just wasted a lot of time. Again, this film is only an hour and 6 minutes long, including credits. And I wanted to check out after the 30-minute mark. I'm just saying. I was getting antsy the entire time, and I was like, wow, I've never wanted a film to end faster in my life. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're always notified about the new videos that I have coming out. I think that this is going to be a nice little trend I'm going to do for the month of December. I'm going to watch a Christmas film that I didn't read the synopsis on, and just based off of what I see, come to my own conclusions about what I think the film is about. If you are a Jack Whitehall fan, let me know in the comments below. Did this film hit you the way it should have? Do you find this film to be hilarious? Do you genuinely enjoy his stand-up? Again, I watched a few things that he has on TikTok, and I'm just like, you know what? Not everybody is going to hit the way they should when it comes to certain people. Like I said, I didn't really find him funny, but he does have a huge following that clearly find him funny. So clearly his comedy didn't work for me. But let me know in the comments below what you think about Jack Whitehall, and if you saw this film on Amazon Prime Video. So I'd be very intrigued to read what you guys think. Also, if you guys do not know, I just created a website, and I'm super excited about it. So you can literally find everything that I'm doing. I always wanted a website, to be honest, and it's just been really hard for me to really wrap my mind around the idea of having one. now I have one, so here we go. So if you ever want to see what's going on and everything that I'm doing all in one place, AllieRobbins.com, link in the description bar below for that. If you guys enjoy this episode and my face, you know what to do, and I'll see you all in the next video.